One of them just graduated high school at 16 though. Yeah, she from Clover Hill. He just graduated last week. They ain't got the same mindset, but he want more than I want. No matter how I feel, this love just ain't real, my baby. Guess we know the deal. We can no longer chill. That's let go. I'm sending extra text, please don't lie. I'm sorry that I wasn't that kind. You're sorry for the rest of your life, for all the stress and the lies. I really think we should move on. We tried, but we should not hold on. Neither one was wrong. I guess this the end. So no matter how I feel, this love just ain't real, my baby. Guess we know the deal. We can no longer chill. That's let go. 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 I tried, but I see I'm too late. That's the part that I hate. Why we have to get in this space? And for your love came in last place. I'm feeling my emotions break dance. It's probably best we don't shake hands. Hope you like your fresh start. This is breaking my heart. No matter how I feel, this love just ain't real, my baby. I guess we know the deal. We can no longer chill. That's let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go.
Hey everybody, I am your host, Core Royalty. You can follow me on Instagram at Core_Royalty. We ask that everybody share this live, man. Nick, y'all not gonna want to miss this.
Hey, it's Meek. You can follow me on Facebook at Meek Hicks, on Instagram at simply_Meek with 4 E's.
Show.
What's going on, y'all? DJ Elon here. Catch me on Facebook at DJ Elon, DJ ELON. Personal page Ian Long, and Instagram _DJ Elon.
And I'm Don Juan Cordova. I'm just here chilling with the young folks today, acting young.
Like the song say, I cannot let go of this plate. But like you said, we got Don Juan here. What you got going on, man? What are you into? You say you deal with marketing, administration. You want to talk about some of that?
Well, for the past couple of years, I've been doing real estate management. So I do property management for investors that's looking, small investors don't have but a couple of properties or a couple of apartment units. I do management for them. I also do it so that people who are in need of homes can be in contact with people who can help them find affordable housing. I do marketing for small businesses, a lot of churches, businesses that was good during the yellow pages, but they lost with the new social media. So with that, you know, that's really where my focus is at right now, because, you know, we just in a, I'm not gonna say in a bad state, but if you're in a miseducated state, you don't know what your target is. So we got a lot of people now that's woke, or a lot of people that's more in tune to politics right now, but if you don't know what you're supposed to ask for, if you don't know the direction you're supposed to be going, you're gonna keep going in the wrong direction. So my foundation is gonna, you know, the homeless need to be fed, but that's not my purpose. That's not my job. You know, right now I want to help people. After you get fed, I'm gonna teach you how to feed yourself. That's what I want to be about.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Sweet. We had a talk before we started. You was telling me, basically, I was like, hey, I'm a homeowner. You was like, that's what they want you to think. But you probably you would never own your house. You want to get into some of that?
Yeah. First of all, to all my real estate friends, to all my real estate brokers and stuff, I'm sorry, but I got to spill some beans for people's education. When you buy a home, the difference between an asset and a liability. An asset is something that you own that makes you money. A liability is something that you're paying on that doesn't make you any money, right? So 9 times out of 10, the house that you're living in is not an asset, because you pay a note every month and it doesn't bring you in any money. Now the equity that they're saying that you have in it, that can turn to an asset if you're using it to do something. If you're using your equity to buy other properties, you're using your equity to start a business, you're using your equity to do something, now your home is an asset. But if you're not doing those things, your home is a liability. It's something that you're paying on. Then after you finish paying the bank back for the structure, if you ever don't pay whatever your local government is, if you don't pay your taxes, they coming to get that. So you never really own it. You have a long-term lease on the land, and the bank owns the structure. Only thing you own is the false thought that you're a homeowner. You don't own it. If I own something, I went and bought this mine. I can do what I want with it. I want to drink it, I want to go throw it down the toilet, I can do that. It's mine. If I want to put some liquor in it, I want to blow some smoke in it and drink it later. It's mine. Do that with your home. You can't even put the fence that you want outside, because the city's going to tell you what you can do with your property. Why? Because that's their land. You just leasing it from them. And if anybody who don't believe me, don't pay your taxes this year. Then you call me at the end of the year so I can find you a house to go stay in. Because you ain't going to be in that same one.
Damn sure the snacks in bitch one underneath your head.
That's what I'm saying. But those are the things that we have to deal with as a people, because we're miseducated. And it's not, if we take it personally as black people, it's not. What people don't understand, Lincoln didn't free us from being slaves because he liked us. He didn't have a mission to say, oh, I like black people, let me set them free. No. It was a way for elites to enslave everybody. Because now everybody, because that's what was the slave? The slave was the labor class. The slaves were the one that did the work, right? Now, everybody does the work. But because of the American dream, you happy to do the work. Because the slave was like, I don't get beat. They waking me up. They took my mama and took my daddy and did this and did that. No, now.
So is it safe to say, I mean, I could cross you, but just so everybody at home, but is it safe to say that slavery never actually ended, it was reconstituted?
It was remarketed.
Yeah.
It was remarketed.
Restructured?
Yeah.
Refinanced?
Yeah. Because what happens is like this. Times were changing. Things were becoming more industrial. So slaves, literally, they still want blacks to be that labor class. And it still is the easiest for us to be the labor class because we don't know what wealth is.
So the American dream, in essence, I'm trying to put it in plain context. So is it safe to say that the American dream is pretty much a second mortgage on slavery? If you put it in that type of analogy, you know what I mean? Like,
the American dream is an expansion of slavery.
Okay.
Because what it took blacks from being slaves to anybody who's poor is a slave. Anybody, it's biblical. Anybody if anybody gives you money, they own you. Why? Because We don't like using those terms. But this is what it is. Your job told you to be at work tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Go in at 10 for 5 days straight and see if you still got a job.
Yeah.
What that man owns you, he owns your time. You're trading time for money. So what you're doing is he owns you. Why? Because he owns the business. So that's where like a lot of people's mad at me about my feelings about Kaepernick, which his feelings were right. But you was doing it at work. So that took away your power. You understand what I'm saying? Now if you do that on your own platform, you can do that. So what happened? People were mad when Jay-Z, who owns his business, came down and sat down with his people and be like, no, dude was right. But they had to listen to Jay. Because Jay don't work for y'all. Jay own his business. And y'all business doing so bad, you need a black marketing company to come in and help y'all navigate how y'all dealing with us. So Jay can say, you know what? This is what I want. This is what it's going to take. Oh, and that little fake fund that y'all set up that y'all about to run and not do nothing for us, if I don't control that, I don't want the deal.
Shit, I ain't even watching the Bills in the championship because of the Kaepernick shit. And I've been a diehard, lifelong Bills fan.
But you should do that, though. let me tell you something. We cannot avoid the system. The system is too big. We have to learn how to use the system. Like we hate capitalism. Well, how else you can go from being poor to being rich and wealthy without capitalism?
You gotta have a product, you gotta have a service, you gotta have something that generates the money. So.
I'll give you a math equation about wealth. How many of y'all in here make $100 an hour?
We got one. We got Miss Juan Cordova Braxton.
You don't have a job, so you don't care. You don't get paid by the hour. But that's my point.
You make
If you-
$100 an hour. What you do?
Have to sell stuff.
I'm trying to work for you.
But that's my
Learn
point.
from you.
This is my point. She has a GED, is her own boss. She get up when she feel like getting up. She opens businesses when she feels like opening businesses. She shut them down when she feel like shutting them down. If I feel like working the day at 5 in the morning, work 5 in the morning. She want to go to bed at 7. I pick it all the time. She go to bed. As soon as the sun go down, she going to bed. But that's her right. Because
I had a kid at 15, so you can't use it as an excuse anymore.
You understand what I'm saying? So we got all these things, but know what the thing is? Know what her life changed?
What?
When I introduced her to entrepreneurism. Because she was getting up and busting her butt for the system the same way everybody else. Because that's what we trained to do. But let's do the math. $100 an hour. 8 hours every day, 7 days a week. It comes to $300 and some thousand a year. Before taxes. Nobody even consider rich at $300 and some thousand. Nonetheless, the $140,000 you end up taking home after taxes. Now, but let's think about it. You got a job that pay you $100 an hour. So you need the new Benz. Your wife ain't gonna let you make $100 an hour and live in no BS house. So now you gotta go get the big house.
So you looking at $33 an hour minimum for you.
What you're looking at is being a well-paid slave. Because now you got to get up tomorrow and show up for work. I got to do this because I'm chasing this lifestyle because I have a job.
And then how many of those things that you accrue in that average lifestyle, how many of those things are assets for most people as opposed to liabilities?
Very few.
And that's another thing most people don't factor in. It's like, how do you allow your money to make more money for you?
Well, the thing, you have to change your mentality.
That's what I'm about to ask.
We have to change your mentality, and you have to be disciplined about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, to be biblical once again. If you read Proverbs, 2 words is every other word. Wisdom, discipline. So you got to be looking for the right thing, and you have to be disciplined about doing the right thing. If you're not disciplined, you're not going to accomplish nothing. Why do people make it to the NFL? They get up at 5 o'clock before they go to school, go to the gym. They go to school, they get out of school, they go to practice. They do it every day. Every day. I set a goal. I'm bench pressing 225. I got to get to 275. I got to get to 325. You're disciplined to a goal. Now, you know a little bit more about me than everybody else in the room. But in my past, I watched people run the streets and would get a pack and be outside for 3 days. No shower, don't go home, living out the car, 3 days. Till that pack gone, I'm on it. But they'll go open up a rim shop and they go in the rim shop for 2 hours and be like, I ain't making no money. It's a mentality and a discipline that we have to change.
And the false sense of entitlement that come along with being empowered.
What is that? What's that first step to, get out of that mindset And, we kind of locked into as far as the system and get into a mindset of entrepreneurship.
First, we have to understand it.
Okay.
Because you can't chase something that you don't understand. Because it's like me trying to watch a French movie. It might be the sweetest thing in the world, but to me, I don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. You have to understand it. Because you have to understand, like we see entrepreneurism as this thing that rich people do. Because that's what we saw or perceived that we saw.
Black people see it as a side hustle, pretty much.
Yeah. We don't want to make money for wealth. And see, first you got to establish the difference between wealth and rich.
Yeah.
Rich is accumulating a lot of money. Wealth is accumulating things that will continue to pass on. Like right now, I'm working on hiring my kids and then having my kids room to run my business. That's wealth. You can't do that with a job. You can work at Philip Morris for 180 years and you cannot pass that machine operator down to your son.
Well, that's the argument that Dame Dash was trying to have with DJ Envy, and Envy couldn't grasp it at first, and then after the interview, he wound up getting into real estate. Now he understands he can,
And people was calling Envy crazy. I mean, they was calling Dame Dash crazy. Because they couldn't understand.
That's our mindset.
Yeah.
What Dame Dash was saying is that I don't hustle for me, I hustle for my last name.
Yo, you selfish. You selfish. You hustle for yourself. I hustle for my last name.
But so you gotta think about that concept though. Most of us are born to be selfish because that's what we're taught. See, because if you can, the most selfish thing you can do is be rich. Because if you accumulated a lot of money and you didn't put your family in a position, that was selfish.
Yeah.
If you dedicated your, let's like I said, the player who grew up and made it to the NFL. You didn't spend time with your family so you could go to the gym. You ostracized all your friends. You ain't kicking with your boys so you can go to the gym.
Shannon Sharp say that all the time. Say he was a selfish athlete. That's how you got to where you need to go.
Now, hold on. To be successful, you have to be selfish.
Got to be.
You have to be selfish. Because guess what? People think because I work for myself, I got time. I ain't got time. I don't have no time. All my time is chewed up.
And I was about to say that when he was saying what you got to do is start. The second thing you got to do is change your circle. If I've been hanging with you for 30 years and we ain't doing nothing, and I don't need the baddest bitch on the block, if you ain't bringing no money. Right.
Right.
You got to change the circle.
But y'all soaking this up, man.
Taking
y'all
it in.
I hope y'all soaking it up, man, because I'm over here. I ain't even doing too much talking. I'm listening.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm tuned in.
But you understand what I'm saying? You have to set a discipline for yourself because people around you not going to understand. Because guess what? When you start off, it ain't going to be no money.
You think you better than everybody else now because you don't got no job. Yeah.
But you're looking at people who, they like my family. My family was decent, but they all was government workers. They worked at the steel plant. They had jobs. So it was like they 18, 19, they graduated, they went to college for a year. Then they operated a machine for 30 years and they retired. So they're looking at me. I was on that same path. When I graduated from high school, I got a job at a law firm. I was a supervisor by the time I was 22. I was making good money.
I remember that.
But I also remember being like,
With the green tracker.
I can't make no more money unless somebody else dies. Because I'm working in a company full of other people with the same mindset.
Yeah.
They thinking, I'm good, I got a job, I get paid, I'm getting a little bit of money, I got benefits. I'm like, dog, you mean tell me at 22, I'd have capped out. So when I first started my entrepreneur journey, I didn't understand it the way that I do now. But I knew that picture wasn't right. I knew that wasn't me. And anyone that I was making bad money, so I'll tell you, like, I was good.
We used to have a lot of fun.
You know what I'm saying? I was good. But because I'm stuck, now I'm doing stupid stuff. Now I'm going back to selling weed. I'm going to do all this other stupid stuff because my money's stuck. And I got to get up every day and go give these people my time for my money to be stuck. So I started helping one of my boys manage a band. What was I doing for the law firm? Managing the mailroom. Managing people. I can manage people for my man and have my time.
Hey, that wasn't just no band either, man. You got to talk about that. We could dig into your
I've
history.
never heard of them before, and I've been in Richmond my whole life.
I don't know how you them people were in 1996, 78. They were one of the hottest groups in the country.
When I first left the law firm, the first project I worked on was the Jazz Poets Society.
Gotcha.
So
And
When I-
y'all young, so I know y'all ain't never heard.
Yeah, I
Some
know.
of the hottest shit in the country at that time.
But back at that
Snatch.
time, they
Was superseding the age limits here.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm digging in the old crate right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was in middle school, so I didn't know y'all
Yeah.
outside yet.
But
Yeah.
they may have been like the equivalent to like a Roots at the time. They were like, poetic was happening.
It was the
then.
beginning of the neo soul era.
Yeah.
They were the forefront of it, not only just in Richmond. It was like a regional thing for real. Where like DC, Maryland, all the way down to North Carolina, they were a staple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it
If
was
the
like,
internet was around, it would have been like
oh yeah.
the group, the internet. You know, the group, the internet.
Not to be rude, not to get we can touch on that, but not to be rude. I'm kind of in this transition in my life to where is I'm jobless right now,
All right.
and I'm at this transition to where I'm go get another job or become an entrepreneur. So I was really feeding into, and I'm sitting in here with two entrepreneurs right now, and I really want to,
Yeah.
grasp,
No problem with that. Let me tell you something.
I'm already gonna tell you not to go get a job, so you don't
Yeah.
have to have a conversation with me.
and I don't want to go get a job. I actually got back pains. I drove a city bus for 3 years. Back
You have
out
a
of
cell phone
whack.
and electronics. You already got a job.
Exactly.
It's all about discipline. It's all about this. That's what I tell people all the time. When I first started my businesses, of course, I struggled. Now, I may not look like I'm struggling because I'm just a nonchalant guy. But you can walk up to me, we can have a conversation.
Because you married the baddest bitch. That's why.
She is
We got to slide the camera on
pretty.
something.
Yeah,
She's very pretty.
it's almost time for you to get on the
She's
camera.
very
Yeah.
pretty.
Don Juan was Don
She
Juan
didn't
before I
come
brought her
sit
to
in
the
this chair
picture.
right here.
Let's get that shit. Now, hold on, now, I will tell you this. She was stuck to death before we got married.
Okay.
But together, some shit.
Bad picture. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Now I'll give it that. Because at the end of the day, you know what it took? When we first got together, I'm at home. She getting up, going to work 2-3 jobs. And she like, we struggling and you at home. Yeah, because I got to make this work. She ain't see it. But I'm like, you struggling and you going to work every day. She stopped working, started her business. For a couple of months, still went back. We went backwards for a couple of months. But when we started driving forward, bro, we started driving forward. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where life is at. So that's why she speaks with so much confidence, because she can take, like, I started being an entrepreneur at 25, 26. She started in her 30s, almost 40. You know what I'm saying? So it was more embedded in her. Get a job, got a job. I got a job. And I bought 10 on the side. I'm getting money. Do working that job and bartending don't even touch a week's worth of what you're getting right now. It's mathematics. You cannot ever be comfortable if all you're gonna have is a job. And it's not to hate on nobody for having a job, because ownership, no entrepreneurship has to mean that you're a full-time entrepreneur. You can own stocks, you can own bonds, you can own anything that can bear interest. You can buy people's publishing. You can go around to people, all these people doing podcasts and be like, look, I'm just gonna try to sell y'all to somebody else. Fuck, one of them might sell. But that one that might sell, you might have sold it to VH1 for a couple of mil.
We just have different rules. He's a business owner. I'm a hustler. So,
Gotcha. What's the difference?
I'm gonna make money.
Gotcha.
Any means, and you don't have to have money to make money. He's gonna build a system, and build a business. I'm gonna get some money.
Gotcha.
So it's a difference.
It's a big
You understand what I'm
So
saying?
you can't get one without the other, for real.
No, but I don't tell you why it balances between the two of us. Because we're one. So her hustle and my systems, really, they become one. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that you got to have a little bit of both, because you got to find out how to get money to come in.
Like, just to give a good example, I'm not gonna sit this stuff around. You know why? Because Ciroc not paying me for promo.
Thanks.
When they stop paying me for promo, that's when I sit that stuff around.
Thanks.
And like now, you with all these young up and coming rappers, we selling $75 a spot because you can play their song in the beginning of your intro.
Thanks.
As long as you got the internet, there's plenty of people out here that's hungry and need for the
Exposure.
platform that you already got.
And you're already doing it. See, that's what people don't understand. It's like,
And whatever you're doing, whenever you go live, you need whatever you got doing on your shirt. They ain't paying you for advertising it.
We're ready to
People,
get
people
straight.
need to see your logo, your name, your.
That's our shirt maker right there. Clothes maker.
Oh, you
Design.
see that?
That's your logo.
Yeah, he stayed with us after this John on too. So.
Don style. Wherever I go, that's it. You see that? I need that. Work it out for me. I need that. That's it. It's build a brand and then spend the rest of your life perfecting it. See, because this the thing. I can't teach my kids how to work like me. And the way that I was built to work like I work, I don't necessarily want that life for my kids. You understand what I'm saying? Like I went through a lot to have the mentality I went through. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want my kids to have to go through that. But I can give them a business where that privileged Chesterfield child can run my business. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want them to have to go through things I went through. Because a lot of my hustle come from hustling. A lot of my hustle come from being in certain situations, certain environments that I don't want my kids to be in to get that. You know, at a young age, so we come from the era of it won't no privilege. So we came from the era when you turn 12, 13, you had to be part of the solution to what's going on in the house. You had to babysit your little sister. You got to cook. You got to clean. Not because your mama being nasty, but mom got 2, 3 jobs. Dad ain't coming around. So you got to learn at 12, 13, you got to make it happen. I go to my granddad's house to cut grass. He said, I'm paying you 20. He'll hand me $15. But like, you paying me 20. I gave 5 to your mom. I came from the era of you had to learn to be part of the solution. I don't want my kids to have to learn that way. You understand what I'm saying? So I have to build something for them if I don't want them to do that. And that's the difference between rich and wealth. My wife is a hustler. I could easily just go find a product and sell on the internet all day and make money. Good money. But I want to build a system that I can pass them down. That's wealth. And that's what we're missing. Like, we don't understand in America. Let's touch on some history real quick. Me and Short talked about it a little bit earlier. After the Civil War, immigrants came to America and were given millions and millions of acres of land. Right?
Yep.
Black folks were promised, so you know that this is how important it is. We're going to give y'all some land. Then, as we talked about earlier, but when Tulsa started showing up, Harlem started showing up, Jackson Ward right here in Richmond started showing up, and no. We can't get them black folks that 40 acres and a mule. Because they're going to start creating some real wealth for themselves. So they took, and immigrants could come from anywhere except for Africa and be given land.
Well, George Wallace was quoted, the former governor of Alabama, he was quoted in 1963, was saying that if you were to ever include black people in the political system, there'll one day be a black president. So we have to, for the sake of preserving the white purity, prevent any form of segregation, which led to this famous speech on the steps where he was saying segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever, because they already understood that if this knowledge was pertinent in our everyday, which it was part of the integration, you know, because the doctor and the lawyer lived in the same neighborhood as the drunk. So as a result, you had a higher ceiling for the average child growing up to be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Can
I
I,
can smoke.
can I ask real quick? Sorry, it's kind of off subject, but you just touched on it. I don't know the history of Jackson Ward, but Jackson Ward was kind of like Black Wall Street, Harlem type of.
Absolutely.
Jackson Ward was recognized as the Harlem of the South.
Really? I never knew that.
I'm going to break something down for y'all.
Back and walk.
I'm going to break something down for y'all. Look at how Jackson Ward is now. Where, you know, from Broad Street back through Gilpin Court is actual Jackson Ward. Now, they teach us that Jackson Ward is only Gilpin Court. And that's for a reason. When you come back on the other side of Gilpin Court, Maggie Walker, the Eggleston family, which they still own a lot, they ran from Broad Street all the way back through Gilpin Court. And when I say ran it wasn't no drug ring. I mean, they had businesses, banks, hotels.
A.D. Price was the funeral home right there.
A.D. Price was the funeral home. Across the street from the funeral home, where the Croker spot,
Yeah.
their great-great-grandfather, him and Maggie Walker owned majority of that stuff in Jackson Ward. So on the corner across from A.D. Price, where the original Croker spot was, over top of that was a hotel. That was the hotel that when civil rights people used to come through Richmond, that's where they used to stay at.
Sam Cooke used to be around Highland Park where my aunt died.
They did. The theater across the street that they had parties and stuff in there, that was like the Apollo of the South.
I got a comment. Capri Chamber said it's been passed down through generations for us to work for someone else. It was a conditioning mechanism that worked and is still working. The difference now is that a whole lot of the younger generation is waking up to what we were oblivious to in the past and making choice to do something different. Nowadays, it's easy to start a business, but not to build a brand because we lack knowledge. So this platform here is definitely needed to help educate people on these exact steps you're talking about. Salute.
Hey, Capri, somebody get it. Let me tell you something. The racism coming back around now is for that exact reason she touched on. It's a fear. Cause we have to break something down. Why are the kids now starting to see life different? Why? Because it's like we were talking about before we came on camera. Now we have privileged Chesterfield kids. So we ain't had that. So even as a parent, it's hard because guess what? I was raised by people who grew up in the city. Feel what I'm saying? My daddy from Fulton, my mom from the West End. When I originally was born, we lived in Highland Park, and then we moved to the West. Well, we moved to Fulton, then moved to the West End. My wife, she's from HP. You feel what I'm saying? So we don't come from that. But what the kids are seeing now, see, they don't have that struggle. See, when you take the struggle away from a child's mind, they can focus on, well, what's out there. What is mama and daddy doing to get this bread? See, because they don't have to worry about mama and daddy and I have a conversation with them because mama come in the house tired. Because mama ain't talk to you. Or dad don't even come
You
around.
can't go to their games because you got to work.
See, let me tell you something. The peer pressure as a parent is different. Why? Integration. We lost integration.
Tremendously.
Hold on. But the second half of integration, they losing. And they fear, because guess what? You know about 5 or 10 years ago, they erased. Back in the days, if you were a mixed child, you had any black blood, they called you black.
Right.
You know that changed that so that you could list yourself as a mixed child now. You know why? Because we in Chesterfield, we in Henrico, and we fucked.
Yeah.
Well, to take it a step
Look at the city.
Take it a step further, they took the apartheid was created from Jim Crow. So in essence, when they saw what didn't work with Jim Crow, they reapplied an apartheid. Now, as they continue to try to abolish apartheid, that's how they class people over in South Africa. Either you white, colored, or you black. So they make colored. If you mixed, if you have any other ethnicity or nationality in you, there's still a separation or a division from what they consider the poor black. So that's probably pretty much what that law is going to try to do over the next 10, 15. Not even law that.
Yeah.
You know
But what's happening is these people, and y'all know where we at. When I got the address that came out here, I got nervous because Trump laying out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that Trump is a problem. It's the people he represents and the fear that they're losing. See, they ain't never really had that real fear from us. See, we can get jobs. We started to vote. That ain't fear them. See, but what happened is they came back and gentrified the city. Right? So we started, because we see what they do as a status symbol anyway. So we start moving to the county. So now we're going to school with their kids. But now, my son dating your daughter. Your daughter putting my son on the game. So my son don't even want to deal with no girl from the city. Not because she white, but because she's schooling him to something totally different.
Absolutely.
He don't even want to hear what she talking about. Because she ain't talking about nothing to him. She telling him how to get to college, what to do when you get to college, what we gonna do after college. She's schooling him to game. And now, so what's happening? Now, they done got together and they done had a little mixed baby. And that mixed baby, guess what? He still live in Chesterfield. So he gonna take another one and have a baby by her. So we done did that for 2 generations now, right? So now they looking like, hey yo, these people done jumped from 13%. And if you include the mixed race, we almost 50-50. See, we're on the 13% of the population by who claims itself to be pure black.
That's crazy. I got 5 mixed kids and 5 kids that's considered quote black.
I always think about it. They say 13%, but it's so many of
Babies
us.
out ain't it, boy?
Damn, that's crazy.
I got another comment. Sweets Diamond said that's why Biden is trying to reverse the Roe v. Wade, because they seen how the elections have went when minorities actually come out and use their power.
Well, minorities haven't used their power.
It's true power is economic.
Republicans and Democrats have used the minorities' power. The minorities, we haven't used that power yet. Because if we use that power, we will start flexing on what we want. See, this is how politics really works. I like what you're saying. I like what you're about. I like what you're doing. So you know what? I'm going to talk to my wife and her business is going to sponsor what you're doing. I'm going to put some money in your pocket. I'm going to make sure you're good. But when you get to office, it's like the Godfather. Yo.
Lobbyist.
Remember when you ran for city council and you was 25,000 short?
Yeah.
I just bought some land. I need something done. So that's how politics work, and we get mad. But we mad because we're not included in that system. So we feel like we can't do it. I'm telling you right now, bro, you can do it. Start going to your city council meetings. Start going to your school board meetings. Start talking to these people. They're people. And they're people with needs. And that's how it works. We exclude ourselves and they be mad because we're not included. That'd be like me today. Show told me to come over here. Y'all do the show without me. And I'm sitting on Facebook, sitting around talking about something. Look at these motherfuckers, cuz they ain't even right. I chose not to come. So no, I don't do that. I'm going to come and I'm going to participate. Why? Because if I participate, guess what? If I can motivate you to do something, hey, remember we were sitting in that room? And you was tossing up between you to go get a job or not? And you decided to get a business, and then that business worth $1 million? Let me hold a little something.
Definitely. That's how the game works.
That's how the game works. But we exclude ourselves from stuff, and they be mad at how it happens. How it draws out, we get mad about. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we have to start including ourselves in politics. That way we can flex our power. What we do not pick our politicians. We try to hold the politicians that they chose accountable. How you do that? You feel what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna do that? You can't hold that man accountable. That man ain't never promised you nothing. What did Joe Biden promise us? What did Donald Trump promise us?
Gave him a pussy, ain't even get a drink first. Shit.
Yeah.
And he know. Let me tell you something. Stacey Abrams turned Georgia for that man. She turned Georgia all the way over for Joe Biden. And I'm happy because it was needed. Because Donald Trump got too many people putting batteries in his back, and it's going to lead to somewhat dangerous. But I'm a firm believer that Democrats nor Republicans are really doing anything for black people. No one has ever really did anything for black people since the Readjusters Party right after the Civil War.
But see, this is my question. We talk about business. Let's tie it all together real quick. If in every business there's a mission statement, right?
Mm-hmm. Should be.
So if the mission statement of America is to protect at all costs the interests of white male property owners, why does anyone else ever think that we will be included, is my thing, in that essence. So, and even further, like, he didn't give his mama the right to vote to 1920. We supposed to have got the right in 1865, allegedly, even though they did everything they could to derail it. So he didn't even think his mama was worth being able to speak on his affairs. And this is who we try to morally and emotionally reason and rationalize with. That's my question to people. Like, my thing is, I believe in all honesty, like you said, once we learn our true power economically and withhold our money and resources and start to talk about what we really want as far as what's going to make things fair, that's when the real change will come. But a lot of people like me get scorned in the process, and it's hard. So I'm asking you, can you speak to how do you stay engaged knowing that it's such a goddamn convoluted process and it's such a, you know what I'm saying, fucked up game for it?
Because you have to understand how the game is played.
Even if you understand it, I understand it.
So this is the thing. One thing that you said is crucial. That if you turn it around, it'll change your perspective on it. America's mission statement is not to protect white people. Let me explain something about race. Race is 100% about wealth and power.
Facts.
It is not about
Facts.
color. Racism is about color.
Yeah.
Race is not about color. Race is 100% about wealth and power. So America was not set up, and it's not their mission statement to protect the property or the businesses of whites. It's to protect the property and business of America's elite. If you were a slave owner at the end of the Civil War, you were protected. Why? Because you were considered the elite.
Because you are an asset to the queen. Because all of this ultimately was supposed to go back to England.
we-
That's why it's called
but-
race to begin with, because people racing out to see how many goddamn resources they can
They can
extract
grab.
from wherever they at and bring it back to
So
the
what
queen.
America did, America bucked. That's what the American War was, the American Revolutionary War. America bucked. We're not gonna keep on sending our money back over here. Y'all telling us we gotta pay a tax for our slaves, but y'all ain't paying no tax on y'all slaves. So we have to understand it. We have to understand that we try to break away from that. Why? Just to have our own. And we also have to have an understanding of slavery that America got the least slaves in the slave trade. So we think in America this great big bully, which they are. I mean, don't get me wrong. They ain't no saints by far. But America is babies in this slavery game. Our thing is, but if they can tell you that capitalism is evil, owning a business is evil, working a job is good American work. Well, who told you that? Some elite.
Yeah.
Like y'all see the meme all the time with a dude pull up with the Lamborghini.
Yeah, don't
And he be like, nice car.
Yeah,
Like, you keep on working hard,
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy me another one next year.
yeah.
The realest shit in the world.
Yeah.
But we don't understand that. So we keep thinking we can work our way to that. You can't work your way to that. I'll give you an easy example that we all can see. A barber and the person who owns the salon. The barber got to cut head. He physically got to be in the shop, cutting hair every day. Is he his own boss? Technically, kind of work when he feel like it. Cut hair. Cut hair till you feel like stopping. The salon owner, I ain't even got to show up today if I don't want to. I can go open up 2 or 3 more salons and have 5 more barbers doing the same thing, cutting me a piece of what they doing. That's the simplest way to describe rich and wealth. See, wealth, you're not trading your time for money. You own a system. I own the barbershop. I make sure the license is there. Make sure the lights on. Make sure y'all good. I might come in here and cut hair today. Might not. But you the barber. You got to cut hair. That's everything in America. Bank of America. People who own Bank of America, they come to a meeting once a month. Once a month, just to talk about what y'all got to do.
That's real, yeah.
And we mad. We be mad, but it's like, so what are you doing to change the system? We look at these people at the top as evil because they don't have to get their money the same way we do. Stop doing it. Madam C.J. Walker ain't do that. She said, I'm not going to do hair. I'm going to tell y'all all the products I need for y'all to go do hair.
Thanks.
Maggie Walker said, we need to make some money. I'm going to own the bank. So when you ready to go start your business, you come see me. And I'm going to make sure that you can go do it. I ain't going to work the business, but I put you in position. It's all about changing how you see things.
Right.
And it starts with, like I said, first of all, understand that it ain't black against white. That's at the bottom. See, that's the distraction. So long as we mad at them and they mad at us, the elite people, see, there's some black people up there doing the same thing. That's why I used to laugh at Scandal. Y'all used to watch Scandal? And come to find out Papa Pope was the one put it on the strings and he was black.
Yeah.
I think that's real talk. There's some black people that's elite in America and they doing the same thing.
Oh, it's called the Talented 10.
You know what I mean? They sit around all day and sit around like, hey, look at them. They look at us. They got so mad at black people. They raided the White House. They stormed the Capitol because they mad at black folks.
Crazy.
And there's a black man sitting up there laughing. I'm like, oh, he got to do the dumbest thing in the world.
But did they raid the Capitol because they were mad at black people, though?
Part of them.
I think so.
See, they got a bigger agenda.
They're still riding.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that, man.
They control though. They stop them real quick.
I got
I don't think it's that.
comment.
Stop doing that.
2 comments. Sweet say we don't vote where it counts. We be coming out to vote for the presidents, which has no direct effect on our day to day. But we don't even know who our local school board council reps are. he said, why you not think it's called the American dream? Cause you can never actually attain it. You chasing the lifestyle, not the legacy. That's what Sweet Diamond said.
Well, it's true. It's like this. If you don't change your perspective, you chasing a dream that you can't get. Because think about it. If you don't change your mentality, you don't want to go to the NFL, you get $10 million and you go broke. Right? Do you know there's people in the NFL that's playing on the line making $200,000 a year, and they die with the $10 million that the running back had? You know why? Because he grew up in an environment where he knew that this is just a good start to life. If I could be 23, 24 years old and somebody gonna pay me lump sums of money, I'm gonna invest it.
It's a bad black trait. We gotta be on Instagram with the Rolls Royce with the
But
lights in the ceiling.
it's not just black, it's white, because a lot of white kids do it.
Yeah.
It's when you don't have wealth and you get introduced to it, it's like Chris Rock joke. Shaq was rich. He came straight out of cars, they gave him a grip of money. Because the man who write his check is wealthy. Feel what I'm saying? And that's what we don't understand. It's like, so we get to be rich, and we don't know nobody rich. Like when I first got the only job I never had in my life, I lived in Randolph Village. Ain't nobody around that have a job besides me and the maintenance man. So it's like, as a male, I was the man on the block.
Yeah.
And I won't accomplish shit. I just had a job in the mail room. But it's me in the mail room and Mr. Carrington, the maintenance man. All the old ladies like, hey, baby. Because our mentality is, he's good. He got a job. He could be a good boy.
Look at Calvin.
That's exactly what it is.
Look at Calvin.
So if you don't change that mindset, you know what you do?
Cheeseburgers.
You just get better and better at it. But if you grow up poor, if you grow up poor and everybody in your circle poor, the only thing you learn is how to be the best poor person you could be. So my mama grew up in the projects. I live in Section 8. My kids, they live in a ranch. So every generation is coming up. But that's because they just learned how to be the best poor person. We start understanding wealth is like this. You own a house. I got 7 kids. What am I leaving my kids? If I leave 7 kids a house, I left them an argument. I left a future family fight. That's what I left them.
22-year beef that's still standing.
How many black families can raise their hand and say they family left them a house and it ain't do nothing but start a family fight, tore the family further apart? But I can leave my kids a real estate business. They ain't even got to show up to work. Somebody else gonna make sure they get their dividends.
Make sure you got enough insurance to empower each of them individually too.
That's one thing we gotta stop. Insurance is money. I don't care how much money you got. How much money you got. If you don't have a plan for that money, you will go broke. I don't care how much. I don't care what the amount is. So 70% of people in the NFL go broke 5 years after the NFL.
My mom hit the lottery off a $5 scratch off for $250,000. She's broke
Hold on, how fast?
in a year. Didn't buy no house. She did pay her car, but she crabbed it up with $300 in crabs every weekend, inviting everybody from the church over. You know why? Because she's never had a job. My grandma's always took care of her. She's never know what to do about nothing financially. So yeah.
But even people with jobs don't understand what to do with finance. Because $250,000 ain't no money.
It ain't.
But it's
No.
not-
Let me tell you
Got
something.
some hustle in them.
If you hit the lottery for $1 million, right? Do you know that you just had a bullshit job for 20 years?
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but $20,000 for 20 years.
$50,000 a year, yeah. Yeah.
But somebody told you got $1 million, so you oh my God, I'm rich. No, you ain't. You're not.
You ain't gonna see but like 360 of that shit anyway.
What do you
And
even
so,
still?
if the taxes have, they said they give you $500,000
Spend more than you see.
because you don't have a plan. Right now, if y'all follow me, y'all know that every day I ride my bike, I ride to the Chesterfield Airport and try to see one of them airplanes is over. I know what type of airplane I want and how much it costs, and I'm researching right now how much it costs to run a crew. Do I have the money to buy an airplane right now? Hell no. I might not even have enough money to get a plane ticket some days. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my thing is, I have a plan.
Yeah.
So let's say I run into some money. I close a big deal. I sell a whole bunch of properties. I know if I have enough money to get these things, or do I need to keep investing? Because I already have a plan. You have to have a plan. I know what type of boat I want. I know how much it costs. Do I have the money to go get it right now? No, but I got a plan. So hitting the lottery don't mean nothing to me. Because I already know when I get it, I'm going to set aside just a tad bit out of it because I got to take her and keep her quiet.
I know that's right.
But I got to keep her quiet because I'm going to take the majority of it and go flip it. Feel what I'm saying? Because sure, you put $730 million in my hand.
I'm doing the opposite. I'm gonna give me about 2 Teslas. I'm probably gonna get a live-in name. Yeah, I'm doing the total
You living it
opposite.
up. You living
No,
it
but it's the
up.
thing. I don't care how much money you got. What I said, no matter how much money you got, you spend it. See, this is the thing how money works. Take that. How many cars I got? You know why I don't have none? Because I gave it to somebody. No matter how many cars I would have had in my hand, if I pass them out to everybody in this room, I don't have none. So I could brag and say, I got that, I got that, I got that, I got that, and they don't have nothing. So guess what? Give me the card back. You got another card? Where's the card? You got a business card on you? You got a business card? I can't even deal with you no more. You got a
How
card?
many cars you need?
Huh? See, that's what I'm saying. So I got. You got some? Let me hold your lighter. Let me hold your lighter. I just need your lighter. Let me see your lighter. See, if I take my time and build, when I got something in my hand, I gave it away. It felt good, but I ain't had nothing. But if I keep hustling, keep going to people, good. I ain't had nothing. Now I got 2 lighters and 3 cars. See, that we don't think about wealth like that.
Deep. God.
We don't think about it like that. You understand what I'm saying? So if you hit the lottery, don't go spend that money. Invest that money. Because you know what? You don't have a financial mindset, so you can't go get that money back. You don't have anything set up that's gonna make you $700 million.
Thanks.
But guess what? If you take 500 out that $700 million and go buy property, if you go broke, sell the property. But with $500 million, you could buy a shitload of property.
When my realtor sold me this house, she had a thing with saying that, hey, you got now you got generational wealth. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
She's not a bad person.
Does this house make you any money?
But that's her job.
That's her job.
Yeah, that's a job. What's the first thing I said when I started talking? I'm going to apologize to my realtor friends because I'm going to say some things that go against. I'm going to talk to them tomorrow morning about doing some stuff.
Yeah.
But I know the truth. I know the business. We lease our house. You know why?
We pay for convenience. Washing machine broke a couple weeks. Got a brand new washing machine. Microwave broke last month. Got a brand new microwave. The roof cave in tomorrow. The roof can get fixed the next day. If you get a tree fall right now, you get a hole in here, you're going to have to wait to file a claim. Then you probably got a down payment you got to pay. You don't got it because you don't work. So now you got a top on this side and water leaking everywhere, causing more damage.
Take away the liability.
I've heard that.
And then the tax benefits that I told you about, she got an LLC and I got an LLC. Both of us work from home. I probably get more benefits in my house than the house that you own.
Is that your Range Rover? You ain't working right now. Put that car on Turo. Somebody will rent that car for $300 this weekend and pay for your note. Do that every weekend. It's COVID. You can't go nowhere. You don't got no job. You Tommy.
You get that bread though.
You can get that bread though.
It's changing.
Put your zip code as the airport.
If
I
you-
went to Florida for a weekend and rented a nice Benz, probably for like $300. Went on the app, showed him my ID, said I had insurance. The man gave me his address. I drove up to his house. He handed me a Mexican man in a gated community in Florida. Handed me his keys. Got in his car. Ain't get nothing else from me.
And it's crazy.
Until the time he dropped back off.
How much would it cost to rent an Impala for the week?
I out there in Atlanta.
Huh?
To rent a parlor for the same week would have been $300, right?
Yeah.
But you drove a Benz for the same amount of money.
And it's your price. So to me, I will charge $100 a day. Because you don't got to go through all it. It's too much middleman stuff you got to go through with a rental car place.
They don't tell us the real facts. They salespeople. They make their money off of sales. And in fairness, a lot of them had the same miseducation that we had.
We got we got Christopher Woody. You know who Christopher Woody is?
I know
Shout out to Woody.
Dancing Woody.
We on Chris. What up, Chris?
Yeah, Dancing Woody.
Yeah, he said teach on. He said it's the game. Yeah, we got some powerful people on
Yeah,
this
people
show.
be sleeping on Woody too, huh?
Oh,
Woody a powerful dude.
Yeah.
Woody a powerful
I seen it
dude.
from the ground up. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's any page that I'm on is my page. Don Juan Cordova on everything. Start off with mindset shifter. Because that's where it all started. You got to see the world different. Because when you see the world different, you move different. Like, I used to do a bunch of dumb shit because I'd be like, what I'm doing ain't going to get me locked up for 10 years. It'll get me locked up for 30 days. But I'm running so hard, them 30 days, I just be like, shit, I need to break anyway. That's the dumbest mindset in the world. Now I'd be like, I can't get the people in time. I got shit to do tomorrow.
But the wrong thing now, we make an entrepreneur look so easy that everybody think that I'm just gonna get an LLC and a tax ID number. Now I got a business, but you still clocking into a job. That makes no sense. Why don't you put the 8 hours into your business
I got
like you
an
put into?
LLC.
what's that next step after the LLC? Because a lot of people just post it and then.
No, and go back to what I said.
Oh, God.
Discipline
Yeah.
and building.
So what's the benefits of having an LLC?
Because you'll protect.
Can you break that down?
But the benefit of having an LLC is like this.
He got 7 kids by 7 different women. They come there tomorrow, they can't touch nothing. Because they don't got nothing as a person.
Be quiet, they might be watching.
Oh,
Tell them too goddamn much.
really? No, I didn't know that.
It's a
part.
limited liability company.
Yeah.
You're not responsible for it.
Well, it's like this. So let's say somebody listens to me now. I'm speaking on behalf of my foundation. My foundation is LLC. You quit your job and you lose your house. You can't come sue me. You can try to sue my business. You can't sue me. I'm protected by my LLC. It's a protection. It's a protective mechanism. But the good thing about it is that you can bleed expenses back to yourself. So like I said, when you go back to pay taxes, you can be like, wait, yo, y'all got to take an account. I had to pay my cell phone bill.
Somebody inside the door.
I had to get, I had, put gas in the car. I got I use certain amount of the house for the office. Y'all got to remember all these things. But with the LLC, I could bleed them expenses back to myself. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the year, if I pay myself $50,000, well, the government will be like, well, shit, you ain't paying no taxes. You made $50,000. So I got to go back and be able to say, but hey, out that $50,000, I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to do this. You can bleed the expenses back to yourself. So you always start with that. But the thing is, that's not your savings. You got to put in the work. Whatever you're doing, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the research. Even something simple, like when I do Let's Debate, that's just something simple, little video. I have to do my homework. You feel what I'm saying? Because I can't responsibly tell you anything I'm telling you without checking the information I'm telling you. You feel what I'm saying? But some of the people, they don't want to do that. And like my wife was saying, one of the biggest problems we have right now with a poor mindset, black people are touching way more money than we ever have before. But we're not doing the right thing with it when we get it. You feel what I'm saying? What's happening is, like my wife said, everybody want to be a hustler. They don't want to own a business. So you got somebody who opened up a business so they can travel every month.
So when you hustle, you become more like an opportunist, really.
Well, it's nothing wrong with being an opportunist, but it's what you can do with the funds from that opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you leave out here today, you get your t-shirt game jumping.
Right.
What you can do with that money? If you just go take more trips and buy more sneakers, get you a fresher car, that was selfish. Because you can't leave them sneakers or leave them trips to your kids.
How you know I like shoes?
I'm just saying, bro. We all do. We all do. Don't think just because I put the top hat on now, the tennis shoe game at the crib ain't mean. Or that the Italian joints that I put on my feet when I'm dressed. No BS.
No.
But at the end of the day, what you do, you gotta invest back in yourself.
Okay.
Always put that money back yourself. Like I said about the NFL. If the NFL paid you $10 million by the time you're 28,
I got the LLC, I got all that.
save your money. Then you can take that $8 million and you can invest it into something. See, there's no power in spending. Black folks, we all talk about our spending power. We got trillions of dollars worth of spending power. Spending power ain't no power. It's just like I just showed y'all with the cards. What power did I have with that? But I had your lighter. You know what I'm saying? You can't smoke without me now.
I took that when you. I was yeah.
But I think
You need me to smoke now because I'm holding this. I have this.
Yeah.
But if I give it to you, I gotta ask for it. Hey, bruh, if you like me, can I get a light?
Facts.
Please. But I had it. I had the lighter. I gave it away. That's what we do with our money. We got so many, like right now, you gotta think about it. At the end of the Civil War, black people own 0.5% of wealth in America. So, today, we own 0.5% of wealth in America. Bro, how all these doctors, stockbrokers, rappers, athletes, and entrepreneurs, and we still only got 0.5% of wealth?
I can tell you how quickly. It was integration. Once everybody moved out of the neighborhood, like I was saying earlier, the kids that were coming up in the civil rights era, you had the drunk and the doctor living in the same neighborhood because the doctor couldn't go out to Rivers Bend or whatever established neighborhood it was. So as a result, they couldn't empower the neighborhood, couldn't empower the community. So that didn't build generational wealth in that aspect because once integration came about, it was a token or badge of honor to be able to spend your money with white people. You see what I mean?
But the whole thing is, I don't care who you spend it with. You have to understand, there's no power in being a consumer. The power is in being a producer.
Yeah.
That's where the power is at. Power is in the person who produces. So let's think about it. We get mad at people say we gonna boycott, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't own shit.
So who gonna produce
So
it?
you mad at Papa John's and you can take your ass to Domino's tomorrow. We don't own no pizza shops.
And we ain't gonna get on beauty, the beauty supply store.
Yeah.
They laughing at us.
No.
Damn.
All the
As a
corner stores.
hold on.
Corner store too.
Corner
You want everything in the
stores.
store.
White
Everything
people.
in the store.
Crabs,
Let me make. Let
like
me,
they target what niggas
you
want.
turned me on to Dr. Claude is the best thing you ever did. Let me explain something to you. White people hate us.
Name a beauty supply
Asian
store in
people-
Chesterfield.
Asian people
Savage.
eating off of us.
Yeah.
And ain't too many going.
Monster
Asian
food.
people strictly open businesses and markets that black people refuse to do, and it's our fucking money.
And I'm sure they teach. I'm
Bahamas.
sure
Don't
they
know how to
teach.
write checks.
So many Arabs.
don't
They know how to write checks. They ain't gonna write it because they
They don't know how to
understand
write
there's
checks.
no power in being a consumer.
But
They
I'm
know how to
sure
write
in
checks.
China, I'm sure they teach a class on.
They do.
niggas.
They teach classes on African American spending.
Yeah.
So how are we the least earners and the highest spenders? In marketing classes, if you take marketing classes, when they get to African Americans, the teacher's going to stop. I don't care what class you in. All across this world, when they get to African Americans, be like, we don't understand this because this stat don't make no sense.
Let's break it down from a timeline standpoint. So, Wall Street, Black Wall Street get burned down in 1921. Prohibition come at the end of the 20s because black people are thriving in the roaring 20s or what have you. So that leads to the World War I. Most of the men get shipped off, what have you. That was the first step in destroying black independent builders or what have you right there. So step two, come goddamn the 1950s, is still, segregation, so you still got a level of people rising or what have you. Then integration come about in the midst of the civil rights era. So you see all your prominent people get killed, you get people get bullied into having any backbone or what have you. Then COINTELPRO come off right after that with the whole drug-induced era versus the Panthers and all that shit. So understanding, and not only that, the thing at that point was to
And
go
now we
get,
got Section 8.
but the thing at that point was to go get a
Preparing
factory.
the black man
It
away
wasn't
from
even.
family.
It wasn't even to be a farmer. It was to go get a factory job in the steel mill. So when the Industrial Revolution ended and all those jobs got outsourced, that's when the tip agency came, and that's when Clinton. So it all coincide. Like if you pay attention, you can see that this shit is all strategic to pull the wool underneath our eyes and pull the rug underneath us while we worry about, like you said, fussing about the intermediate shit that ain't gonna change nothing.
And then we can get on 2019 with child support and Section 8.
Oh yeah.
all to destroy the black man.
Criminalize sexuality.
What they do?
What's the rule in Section 8? I mean, God forbid I never lived in it, but you can't have a man in your house, right?
And that's been
So now
since
you- so now you're raising your kids by
COINTELPRO.
yourself.
That started in '69 when they started everybody
Let me tell
going
you
into
some
the
real
project.
shit. I have 3 sisters. I have never seen a man in my house. My grandpa probably did have a man, but he died. My mama had boyfriends and not, but there was no physical man in there changing no oil, cleaning out nothing. So you know what that made me? I'm a nigga to my husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't. We driving in the car. We in my car. My tire get flat. Oh no, I'm changing my own goddamn tire. It's my car. I can't even let my man be a man because I ain't never seen that.
Oh, real quick, can I ask? Because I've had that trouble in the past with females, and I've seen other men have that problem with females. They're so used to being, self-sufficient. It's
That
hard for us to be. It's hard for me to be a man
shit.
in their life, and I think a lot of relationships are broken up just because of that. Now, how did you overcome that?
Oh, I still ain't.
Still, okay.
Yeah. It just cursed me out. I shut up for a little while. I gotten better. But it's hard if you ain't never seen that
But
before.
you know what it is? Is that men have to think differently now. So what I have to look at is this. My household is a business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the CEO of that business, just like Don style. Braxton, that's what I call it. Braxton Ayers is another business of mine. Now, my COO, she got issues. I got issues as the CEO. So I have to evaluate, well, outside of her issues, what do I have in her performance? She gonna go get it. She gonna go get it. Now I can tell her, baby, stop spending so much money. But you know what? There's never been never. I don't say it on live so everybody can see it. Never been a time that she ain't gonna go get it. It's really been times where it might be slow, and they be like, "It's Sunday. I want to take the kids out to eat." Like, "No, we need to go home." She getting that phone. I be halfway to the house. She be like, "No, turn around. We're gonna get something to eat." She gonna go get it. So you have to be able to evaluate what I'm dealing with. Is it worth it? And you have to remain the man. See, because to be a man, see, it ain't about dominating her. It's about appreciating her and getting her to understand her power.
But what our friends got you telling, girl, that nigga tell you what to do?
Right. You still.
While you single.
Yeah.
With 4 kids and 4 baby daddies.
For me,
That's why I said you have to change your circle. In your growth, you're going to lose a lot of friends.
You still have those same friends around, or?
So again, I have 2 best friends, been friends for 30 some years, but they're workers, and I understand that. But then I try to teach them how to do stuff, but they're workers, so I can't knock them for that. But yeah, I do. You can have some genuine ones.
We got some comments. Capri Chambers again said, "Yeah, I've always gave my clients resources to research the information I'm giving them. That way, they aren't just agreeing with anything anyone tells them. They will be able to have a reference point to confirm the info they're given. Got to do the work, indeed." Christopher Woody said, "Generational wealth is key. Life insurance policies. It's true. We give it back." Woody also said, "The whites making millions. Nothing to say about African Americans." Sweet said, "We've been trained to be consumers, no producers. We so focused on looking rich rather than being rich." Christopher said, "Poverty mindset, modern dad slavery." Christopher Woody also said, "No man, no foundation." He also said, Stephanie Braxton teach. Last one, Capri Chambers also said, "That's because us women have been taught this as well. We have to stop trying to wear the pants and the panties in a relationship and choose one, because we are easily running our kings away because we have been taught to have mouth or taught not to submit. Not realizing that if we submit and allow him to wear the crown, he can lead us in a direction we are destined for with them instead of being against them. Not all men can lead, but neither can all women."
and as real talk, but what we have to understand is that we have to get out this victim victimized thinking. Like, show name everything that legally documented proof has happened to us. We could throw redlining on top of that.
Yeah, which is all a part of it.
And it's all part of the same thing. It's to destroy the family and destroy the economic power. See, if I could destroy how you make your economics and I could just take the man out the family, now that we're trying to come back and have families, it's hard.
What did you tell me the other day about in the deed of the houses over there in the West End by the
Oh,
monument?
and a monument is deeds to say that you can't sell this property to a black person.
What?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Monument Avenue, were they protesting that?
That's how they were able to get people to move into there to begin with.
But it was
was a
a
clause
it was
in
a
the
it was a Civil War celebration. They had a big thing where they came out when they put the Lee Monument up.
Yeah.
100,000 people showed up to Monument Avenue,
What?
and they had a great. Cause do y'all research? I'm trying to tell y'all.
Yeah.
Living in Richmond, we
Yeah.
should not have this mindset because history's around us. But the most important thing that we sleep on is that cause our economics being destroyed by the government is right in our face. A part of redlining, they were forcing us into certain neighborhoods, right? So they were overpopulating black neighborhoods. Then they started removing the fathers from out the home, right? But we still had black stores. Like when I was a little kid, my grandma could send me to the store, tell Mr. whoever, pick up money on the way home. Because we had our own stores. We could see that. This man owned a store. This man owned his barber shop. This man owned his shoe store. You can see that. That's a powerful image to a little kid, right?
What was our store when we was staying over there on West
Pops.
Huh?
Popsicle.
Popsicle. You know Popsicle?
Yeah.
We had Popsicle. That was black
On Harrison Street.
On Harrison Street.
So you see that, and it is in you.
My granddad used to stop over there. when we
So
was
this is what happens. Remember I was telling y'all earlier about Jackson Ward and the Maggie Walker and the Egglestons owned all this property, right? You know that big building that sits beside the highway is St. Luke's Hospital, which is the hospital that Maggie Walker owned. So all of that was part of the Eggleston, Maggie Walker legacy and property, right?
Yeah.
What run down the middle of it? 95.
Oh.
And the West End on Meadow Street, there was another section of strong black businesses right down Meadow Street. What run through it now?
195, yeah.
195. What happened was that the black economic system had to be taken out. They burnt our villages right in our face. You know how they did it? Because they offered you a job. They offered you a job and said, look, I'm going to give you a highway job.
Or come work at Philip Morris instead of owning your own business.
No, it's bigger than that though. Because Philip Morris is some other shit.
Or DuPont.
But the highway system was built to create jobs. So we happy. Black folks can go out here and get good government jobs. But they designed them to run right through where you was most powerful economic. And I don't tell you some shit that's gonna piss you off. When you come down 95 and you come into Richmond, you pass the Diamond. 95 take a big curve.
Right into Jacksonville.
So it curves into Jackson Ward.
Yeah, right into Jacksonville. I always noticed that. The way it
If
curved
it keeps
back
straight,
forward.
you know where it go to?
Southside.
No, it would go through them big houses over north side.
Oh.
On the back side of Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Ladies' Mile and all that
Oh.
shit. Yeah.
So instead of tearing down their neighborhoods where they got welfare, it takes a huge curve to come directly split Maggie Walker and the Eggleston's property. So end up Maggie Walker's stuff was on one
And
side, Eggleston's was on the other
And I'll
side.
show you another step that happened. So it was a thing that was infused in the Southern strategy in the late 1960s called benign neglect,
Yeah.
where Nixon ran his whole campaign based on telling people, hey, look, we're just going to overlook the word black altogether and start referring to things as individual terms. That's where the whole minority thing came from. So as a result of that, they built 295 so that way if you don't want to look at the eyesore that is downtown Richmond,
Yeah.
you can get anywhere else that you need to get to in the surrounding areas without ever having to come through the city. So that's something else that people don't understand. And that was also created when they started building people like, in the suburbs and shit.
Yeah.
When the white flight, they built 295 to support white flight.
More comments. Christopher said zoning is another name for redlining. Capri said NHA 1934 redlining was implemented. Christopher said it breaks up the economy.
Yeah, it breaks down economic system. Because what happened? They ran 95 through, like we had a Tulsa here. We had a Black Wall Street here.
That's crazy.
See, to have a true community, you have to have a hospital, a bank, a school, and a grocery store.
Yeah.
That's what defines a true community. We haven't had one since. Name a neighborhood that got all that. I can tell you where. Carytown.
Yeah.
Windsor Farms. Chesterfield. Deep Chesterfield. But let me tell you,
It used to be the fan until they got rid of Stewart Circle.
but they still got retreat.
Yeah.
So they still a community.
They got a retreat.
They still got a
love
community.
retreat. They make sure.
But let's understand why they moved. They moved because black kids started going to VCU.
And they also moved because they wanted to go out Hanover. That's where Regional Memorial wound up being. They took that and Memorial Hospital.
From over north side. So at the end of the day, we have to understand. Now, we see these things, right? We know redlining exists. We know that child support, driving on a suspended, which they finally, repealed that. But we know all these things are meant to take the black man out of the household. So what you can do about it? See, either you can complain about it or you can change your mindset to do something about it. There's nothing easy about this fight. Power is never given. Never has been given. Power is always taken. So why do we have this mindset that this government is all of a sudden going to take care of us? They just going to wake up one day and do right. It's still, Joe Biden is the president. People have been sitting on Senate for 30, 40 years. So they ain't even shoot Martin Luther King to 52 years ago. So the same people still running the government.
Yeah.
The same people still there.
Same ideology.
The same people who called us niggas is still running this government. So why do we think that this government is going to save us?
Don't want to integrate their kids into a concrete jungle was a direct quote.
But it is. But this is the thing. Capitalism is our way out, and we don't even see it. We refuse to use it. Because guess what? That's the system they use. I won't worry when Donald Trump became president because I'm an entrepreneur. So one people I know he ain't going to mess with, he may mess with me because I'm black, but he ain't going to never do nothing to me because I'm an entrepreneur because that's what he is.
So you think everybody should basically try to have an independent contractor's mindset or approach to...
I'll answer your question with a question. What do the Latinos do when they come to America?
Get a job and work
group
their ass
economic-
off. And put themselves in the
I'm telling you what they
And be
do.
about
Group
20 people in
20
one house.
people.
Yeah,
One
but
house,
group-
nigga.
Group economics, they all work for somebody who they already know. They empower him. They understand he's the brains, we gonna be the brawn, and they all play their role in this system, and they all
live
buy into
together,
the system.
But you know what they do?
Oh, my.
Group
They build
economics.
this one.
It's bigger than that. They know that you have to be the boss. They know it's no money consumerist because all of them, if I got a job for you cutting grass, or when I get off, I'm going to cut some more yards.
Yeah.
If a lady clean up, when she get off, she going to clean some more houses.
It's the same thing in Chinese nail shops. They go work with their own.
But
But
that's
here
why
it
you never
is, you
see
got Keisha over here who do some bomb ass nails, and Tanya, but y'all don't want to get in the same job because y'all fucking the same nigga. Like it makes no mathematical sense.
But
There's no reason why we can't get the 10 top nail people in Richmond and put them in the same building. You know why? It's competition.
No, but I disagree with that. Only in this sense. We have to understand the way the battle starts at is when I listen to Al Sharpton on Sundays, the last thing he say is, look at the man in the mirror. When you can make that man in the mirror a better person, that person can be a better person for his family. That family can be a better part of their community. That community can make a better neighborhood. That better neighborhood can make a better city. That city make a better state. And so, you keep growing. The problem is we see group economics as she got to work with her. That's not how group economics really works. How group economics really works is we're a unit. We ain't hiring nobody else. Because my son need a job. Well, I like hiring you. Ain't nothing against you, but my son need a job. I want to make sure my son good. You feel what I'm saying? That's what the Chinese people do. They go live in one house and they hire their own family to work in the house. And guess what? When that family try to leave, and I'm going to go get another job and do that, because they get them people pure head. All I did for you, you will leave, you will do this. Because it's all about family loyalty. Now that those families have grown big, now what they do is that now this family can live with this family. Feel what I'm saying? So it's not as an individual doing business, because that ain't gonna never work. You got one way of doing your thing, I got another way of doing my thing. Like I don't like how you record. Why you got the blue lights over there? It's just an argument waiting to happen. But if I go over here and grow my thing, you go over there and grow your thing. Now you got you and your whole family. I got me and my whole family. Now we can go attack an industry.
Yeah, this is a question I really want to ask, and I was going to get to it earlier. I know we was going through it. How do you get people around you in that mindset without just keep leaving this group, deleted this group, deleted this group because they not thinking like me, they not thinking like me?
Without competition.
You just-
within your group.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. I know.
Oh, no. That's good
Hey,
thought.
You just gotta be around like-minded people.
Got you.
This is it. Why do black people are the only people that feel like we have to save everybody? I got my friend circle is 2 people. I do business with both of them. So you can call and tell me about the game. I don't even have a circle. We gonna sit there for no hour and talk about the game.
Yeah.
You call and talk to me about the game, we gonna be like, damn, Cole, you see that? That was crazy. Hey, what time we gotta be at that meeting tomorrow?
Yeah.
Hey, what do people say about that property? You had a chance to go check this out?
Yeah.
I don't run in that type. I don't run in no circle with people where that's even an issue. Because if it's an issue, I don't need to be around you. I got people right now in my life I would die for that I don't have time to have a conversation with them. It ain't that I love them no less. They're my people. You know what I'm saying? I literally would die for them. But I don't have the time in my day for them to keep coming around and me talking about stuff that ain't.
Yeah.
I
Just
don't.
wasting my time.
My wife would tell you, you come to my house on Sunday, you can be bored to death. I want to watch a documentary.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't want to keep watching a bunch of fiction shows.
Yeah.
I want to watch something to be like at the end of the day, I watched 2 Sam Cooke specials yesterday. Because when I watched One Night in Miami, I'm like, damn, I ain't know Cook was getting it like that.
Oh, yeah.
Cook was getting to that bread. So I sat there and watched 2 documentaries
Him and Otis right now.
yesterday. Could be like, yo, yeah, they killed that man.
They killed both of them.
They killed that man because that man had the recipe. That man said, look, I'm going to write the song and I'm going to get my brother to perform it. But when the white people like it, I'm going to go ahead and sell it to the Beatles. Now, the Beatles have took it. Now, we get checks for a couple of meals. And we just sitting in the cut chilling. But he wanted to own.
The masters.
See, that's what people understand. They don't care if you become a rapper. Go ahead and make me all that bread. You make 10 cents per sale. And that's when it was albums.
0.03 for streams.
Exactly. You only get a whole penny no more. Because when you was getting 10 cents, that's when CDs was $9.99. Now you get the whole album on Apple for $9.99. So you might get a penny for the whole album. So they don't care if you become a successful rapper. You got to go through them. They don't care if you make it to the NFL. And the Super Bowl is going to take place in 2 weeks. NBA Finals at the end. They drop the confetti. Everybody running around, jumping around. Who they get a trophy to?
The owner. The owner.
And your black ass got a concussion. A bad knee. You know what I'm saying? You got a bad knee. You can't remember shit. Because you done had 3 concussions
All
this
you got to
year.
look forward to is a ring and more of that same shit the next season.
And you sitting up there proud as hell holding that
And
trophy up
hope a
in the
white
air.
woman don't jack you up in the process with a rape charge.
Yeah.
Yes.
You stuttering and shit because you got the concussion and shit. So you standing there, yeah, we won. And they give a trophy to some well-dressed white
They
man.
want to know your name on the show.
Don Juan Cordova, DonJuanCardova. And I really appreciate it because, you know, I'm popular with the old folks, but, you know, the young folks,
Pay attention.
they're like, who was Pops?
Pay attention.
But I appreciate it because it's a blessing because a lot of my people ain't here
Oh
no
man,
more.
you don't even know, like for real, I ain't gonna lie to none of y'all in this room. I don't rewatch our podcast, but this one.
You think I'm gonna save this joint? Yeah, right.
This one is
Bruh.
definitely gonna get watched though. And yeah, with that, I definitely need to, you know, get into this entrepreneurship because, like I said, am I willing to go and work for anybody else anymore? For real, for real.
Might be out of the question. Have you ever been locked up before?
I have.
You can be an entrepreneur. That's the worst shit ever.
Facts.
If you don't been through that, you can be doing anything.
Facts.
What you got to worry about? That's what I tell people.
It'll be like that. There will be days when you ain't gonna know where your next meal coming from. There will be days when you get home that you don't know if your lights on or not.
What you worried about?
I'm gonna survive everything with my motherfucking funeral.
Yeah.
Tony,
And pray. I can't tell you how many times I be like, God damn, my car no do. I don't went out to eat, got crabs 4 days. Fuck. Wake up to the morning and somebody spending $1,000 in 5 minutes with no question asked. Tell you, pray.
You talking about pray? God sent this right here.
Yeah.
I needed this
We all
right
needed
here.
it.
No,
I promise you, I needed this right now.
it's all
You can't do nothing without God.
it's all in your mindset.
Alright.
And like you're saying, like I said, I don't like to get too biblical on people, but when you break it down, God don't give you more than what you can handle, right? But you can't be scared to walk on that line of what you can handle.
And you got to do right by it, because the same way He gave it to you, the same way He can take it from
Just
you.
take it away. You gotta be a good steward to it. But like I try to tell people, like I lost one of my daughters in 2015. And I went down for a minute. But you know what it made me? Dog, I'm unstoppable. I'm unbreakable.
Yeah.
I'd have buried one of my own. There ain't nothing out here in the world that you can do that can shake me up. Now I ask one to come investigate. She bring the stinking ass. I don't care. Can't be no worse pain than that pain. If you took everything away from me, everything, you can't match that pain. So what I got to lose? So what I got to do, I got to change my mindset and make an example for the rest of my kids. Dog, you ain't got to do it the same way that it's been done, because that's what you've been told to do. Do it the way them other people. Know what? I don't want to be LeBron James. I don't want to be LeBron James. I want to be the owner. Because LeBron can't give Bronny, he can't give Bronny his business. But Dan Gilbert can give away the Cavaliers.
So at 16, talk about crazy shit. You already know what y'all know the story. So to fast forward the next generation, my son, 16 years old, and he just graduated high school from Clover Hill. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of how people judge anything else that you say, if the fruit that you bear, shout out to my ex-wife, man, for real, because she did an amazing job with him, you know what I'm saying, on some real shit. So, you know what I'm saying, if the fruit that you bear ain't better than if you ain't leaving behind something better than what you started, then you got to check yourself at some point. And you, like you said, it got to be discipline and it got to be devotion to God. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't here for but a short time, and don't nobody know when the lights go out.
But generational curses are real.
Amen.
I'm living in Wickham because Big Mama lived here. My mama lived here. Why I need to go move to anything else? But you braiding hair, making $300-400 a day.
But you don't understand it. It's a mindset. And
Those are
that
ceilings.
the mindset has been taught to us. See, if I put a bunch of poor people together, how you gonna learn about wealth? You're trying to learn how to survive. You can learn how to hustle.
Yeah.
See, but hustle and business is two different things. You know what I'm saying? You got to have hustle in you to run a business, but it's two different things. You don't know nothing about wealth. You think wealth is like, if I get a big car and a nice house, you living, but you living so selfish. When you die, nigga, I gotta have a fish fry just to bury your ass. But you had goddamn 3 whips and a big ass car, and every time I seen you, you was in fucking Cancun. But it's a mindset. Do you know that white people use insurance money as generational wealth? Like they do, I mean big. I don't mean like leave your kids, 100,000. I mean like they put insurance on each other, and it could be some crazy shit like, I got insurance policies on her. I met you today. I like what you're doing. You might mess around and get a letter in the mail. I got insurance on you. That's how white people do their thing. If you doing something and they feel like they can go to an insurance agency and they be like, oh, well, he worth investing. You got a relationship with that person, go get insurance on him. Because the Kennedys, girl, you ever seen anybody crying at a Kennedy funeral?
No.
We done watched their whole family die in front of us. We ain't seen that one tear yet. You know why?
That money.
Boy, they cut some checks when them people died. They are one of the biggest people in America at using insurance and generational wealth. I don't mean enough money to bury you and pay off the house. I mean, hey, bro, we going to buy half a city when that check clear.
Didn't
Tight
anybody
money.
trademark the alcohol or something like that? Is that where they got their wealth from?
Well,
I
they
know
daddy
that
was a
was
bootlegger,
bootleg.
though.
Bullet, okay, alright.
And like I said, but I go to show you. When we sell drugs, the same thing the bootlegging was. When they lock us up, was the first thing they want to do.
And we ain't even gonna talk about that. You have to be a scientist. You have to calculate that if I buy this, I got to cut it with this to make this amount.
Facts.
Why you can't put that into your own, a method into your own business?
But you might as well because they ain't gonna treat you fair. 'Cause like I said, if we sell drugs the same way that they bootleg, the first thing they gonna take from you is your money. Then they gonna take your time. Then they gonna take your family. Right? They bootleg and became one of the most powerful families in the country. Where's that fair? They lock them up. They don't take their wealth.
Come on with the same shit they went in there.
Hey, when we was at St. Thomas, we rolled past. What was the dude that was messing with Trump to mess with the little kids? Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
We rolled past his alley.
And you had to get there by boat. And it took us almost 20 minutes to get there.
Hey, cuz, they ain't take that man shit.
Nope.
Nope.
But I'm saying, but whatever we do something, the first thing to do is take our money. They take your money, then they take your time, then they take your family. So when you come back home, how you gonna build? If I'm selling drugs and I'm doing all right for myself, let's say I got $500,000 sitting under the bed, right? You lock me up and say I'm gonna lock you up for 2 years. You know what I'm gonna tell you? Bet. Nigga, bet. I take that, Your Honor. With pride, sir. I'm sorry I broke your laws. Because I got $500,000. I'm going to sit down for a year because I'm going to get in there and get in the program and get that time cut. So I'll be home in a year and in 2 months with 500 racks. See, but how they do us? When they lock you up, they took all your money. You don't even have a lawyer to work nothing out for you. Then they ship you off halfway across the country. So now you ain't got your family.
For real, for that new shit is that scamming shit. Those scammers, that's like a white collar crime.
But look how they treat
know,
them.
man.
Color. Yeah, it is
Blue,
white collar.
whatever color
It's white
crime.
collar.
And these, I know people, man, that's been scamming and that got so many thousands of dollars,
And what they doing?
and they ain't getting no more than
They got
8.
the
When
J's,
get
though.
caught,
They got
when
PS5.
They got all that shit.
No,
what
what
I'm
they
saying
doing?
is they get huh? They
They
getting locked up. They get locked up 18 months tops.
Yeah.
And they got that type of
You know-
money that
you know what?
what I mean that you talking about stealing it.
What I told y'all about Trump.
But put that energy into something else that you know you ain't going to
Yeah.
do.
Legally.
Because you know the system not gonna treat you fairly. Listen, a scammer is just like somebody pinching money off of a hedge fund. So if I'm gonna give the person who stole a credit card and went to Macy's and bought some scammer suits and reselling them, then I gotta tear Barry the Madoff off. I gotta tear off them boys on Wall Street that's skimming off the top, because it's the same crime. You feel what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. We have to move within the system. So we can't move the way the system want us to move, because the system want us to be labor.
Facts.
Labor. What rich person y'all know with a job? Oh wait,
I ain't never met him.
ain't never met him. It's about ownership. Own something. I ain't saying you gotta own a business. I strongly suggest you own the business, but you got to own something, and owning your house ain't it. Not unless you looking at it like this. I found a deal. Now, you can say I found a deal on the house. See, because this is what they do. Why does gentrification work? Gentrification works because I can buy a house for $50,000. Move into it. I can put another 50 into it. So I'm 100 in.
Yeah.
I can sell that same house for $350.
In Churchill.
Anyway,
I got 250 racks in my pocket.
Facts.
That's how gentrification works. Feel what I'm saying?
Or I can rent it out over
So
10 years
that's
later,
why
make it
that's
too
when
much.
buying in a house makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I bought a house with a bunch of equity in it. If you paid $100,000 for a house, and the taxes and everything on your house is $100,000, what you got?
So, you know, like say you have money coming in. What I would do, I would go rent a house. That way I don't have to have no liability of it. And whatever your mortgage is, I would times it by 3, and I would rent this house out for that much. Because now you're paying your rent over here too. And it just makes sense.
That's what my coworker's been doing.
Like on some
He bought
landlord
another
type
house
shit.
off for the money he made off the rent.
Or you can make this room a house.
Yeah,
You can make this room a house and charge $600 per bedroom.
Yeah. Kobe's did that.
Fully furnished?
Yeah.
Oh, now it's $1,000 per bedroom. You got cable? Oh, now it's $1,500 per bedroom.
Y'all ready to make some money in? Because if y'all ain't tapped in,
You feel what
y'all
I'm
ain't
saying?
tapped in.
But it's just a
Somebody gonna pay
mindset.
it.
No, it's a mindset. But there's somebody who's paying it is always us. We got to stop. We got to change how we look at things. You feel what I'm saying? Because as long as we look at it like it's a power and being a consumer, I got this, I got that. You know what I mean? I remember one time we did a deal. And we was doing this construction project, and I was getting told off like every couple of weeks, $2,500, right? It was my best friend's birthday, Dane Jamal's birthday. We going out. I just cashed in one of these $2,500. So, I don't know what dumb ass reason maybe do it. Like I said, back in the day, I ain't had no better knowledge than what I got now. Yo, I think I put like $1,500 in the house and took $1,000 with me out the house.
Done.
So I came back in the house with about $10. This was one night.
Good.
Cause it felt
Y'all
good.
gotta be the big nigga in the bottle spending $300 on a $50 bottle.
Cause it felt good. No, cause you know what I had to be? I had to be in the club. It's my man's birthday. My man, Danger Mouse. Super friends, nigga. We ballin'. Man, what you drink? Nigga, put that whole shit down. Man, give my man a bottle. What you drinking? I fuck with you. Get that man a shot. Cause, for what? For what?
And them people don't even remember that night.
And nobody.
You do because you paid the tab.
No, I remember because it was. It won't even because it ain't hurt me because I know it's gonna get another $2,500.
Yeah, I know, but it's just.
But how many times do you waste that opportunity to be like, "Cuz I could have did a whole lot." At the time, I didn't even have a driver's license.
Yeah.
I could have put that $1,000 on the fine.
And you drove drunk.
Yeah, I'm driving with no license, drunk.
Oh, I remember them days.
Everybody in the car with me drunk,
Yeah.
and I took that $1,000 spent on that. Why? Because you got to change your mindset. So you got to change your mindset. Like I said, when you change your mindset, you can make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? When you poor and you stuck in a poor environment, you in survival mode. So your decisions is based off survival. Feel what I'm saying? When I'm in survival mode, I'm like, I see my dude, man, he just dug in his pocket. There's a little bit of cash in there. Catch his ass slipping when he walks in the car.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
I don't know how much money he got in his pocket. And no matter how much money he got in his pocket, it ain't worth going to jail for.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? But I'm in survival mode. I don't know how I'm going to eat. So I'm willing to take that chance. No, I can't go sit in jail, dog. I got a beautiful wife that's going to get butt naked when we get home.
Oh my God.
Right?
Kids-
Nice show, y'all.
She gonna wrap it up.
No,
Go to jail.
Let's get to
you
that.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My kids gonna want to play with me later on. I got business partners. We gonna go make some money tomorrow. We gonna go do something. I don't have time to be sitting in jail. Why? But I can afford to not think in survival mode.
But that's the end thing now, to go to jail and be locked up. Yo, nigga, I just did a bid. Like, we think that's cute. We think it's cute. Say, girl, you seen Keisha went to Cancun yesterday, girl? I don't know how she did. Girl, is she going somewhere else next week?
You know why? Because, like I say, it's that survival mode. So you stay in that mode so long that you look down. You know what I was saying before we started? People be mad if you don't get it out the mud. That's like, for real, you understand it? You mad at me because you really mad at your parents.
And then what was we talking about earlier? Like, the internet is a drug.
It's money.
Like, if I see one more 40-year-old woman doing a busted challenge, I swear to God.
It's money right
And
here.
it ain't making you no money.
It's money. This money right here.
You got all them followers and ain't doing nothing but
Money.
looking at you.
It's money.
Facts.
I'm not where they at, but I'm telling y'all, yo, this phone right here, this is money. Stop scrolling all day. Make that bread, man. It's right here.
It's
But
what
that's
you-
what
it's-
made me get into trying to do a property inspection business. 'Cause I
Me
feel like
and
I used to
her
take
in property
selfies all day.
inspection. I was
So
just
I'm
gonna
like,
say
if I can
that.
sit and take pictures of myself all day, I can get paid to take pictures of houses. You know, so that's what made me go like to school us together.
It's
and
the
utilize it.
it's the mindset. Like think about this. They lit Bernie ass up every day since the inauguration. It was a Bernie meme every day, right?
And if you sell a product, that Bernie meme need to be in your product,
he
or
got-
you need to be using that hashtag.
You know he got them sweaters for $45. He just sold out. Cause of the meme.
So why we don't see that part of it? Like if you go do some stuff like TikTok, we put your little hand over something, come back with something different. Like I seen a girl do a job on wigs. That shit flash. She's selling them. But if you just doing it to show people you got all these wigs, you stupid because you just a consumer. You know what I'm saying? Then you just showing people all the money that you just spent. It's not no money to make. Everything around you is opportunity. But it's all in how you see it. Like the internet is a great big tool. It's like either you can ride the wave or you can create your own waves. So why I'm gonna get on here every day and all these like that's why I started Let's Debate. And that's why I started all these things to make these type of conversations survive. Because when I was DJing and all type of stuff, you know, I lived my whole life for you to go waste your money. I would influence you to go to the bar and drink up. I would influence you to ball out. Go buy this car that you can't afford. Go this so you can look like this. So now I'm at a point in life where like I could take that same influence and make a difference. So why not do that? So I stand on this. Everything I say to you, I die for it. Because that's how much it means to me for somebody else to take the same journey I'm taking. Because I ain't understand it at first. Like, I started getting on it because me and my partner, people always come to us because we had the clubs and stuff like that. And I don't think we talked about that, but a large part of my background is we own a couple of clubs at Shockoe Bottom. We owned the properties that the clubs was on. So people thought that we had the answers. And in our community, it's like we was way up here. We ain't had the answers because we would go to meetings with these big developers and sit there like, shorty, what are they talking about? What type of license is that? What the hell is a development fee? Like y'all don't understand. Like y'all hear the word developer all the time, and y'all don't understand that they get 20% of every project they do. Why do you think they buying these big ass projects? They get 20%.
Shots out of time.
You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I bought a building. I'm putting 100 apartments in. I get 20% of that. That's $1 million. I got 200,000 just for putting it together. You feel what I'm saying? We don't think like that. So what ended up happening was that I'm around people who up here. We right here, but everybody I grew up with, knowledge-wise, is right here. So they coming to me like, get the answer. How we gonna do this? And I'm like, bro, I ain't what you think I am because I'm coming from the same place you do. God just blessed me that I got to a place and it made me want to study it. Because I was blessed to be around some white people that's really doing it and open their doors to me. Say, come in and let me explain something to you. You feel what I'm saying? Because we don't know. Like we had 5 buildings at Shockoe Bottom, clubs and 4 of them. And at the end of the day, many people end up sicking everybody on us. People ain't want us to have all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to look at the world a little bit differently. And you got to learn from certain things that you go through. And admit, like I had to admit, I ain't as smart as I think I am. But that makes me powerful. Because now I'm willing to learn.
Yeah.
And as I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to teach.
If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I say. I love that one.
Yeah.
That's real.
Why you circle like that? You ain't got nobody you can call? You ain't got nobody you call if you got a question.
Facts.
You need to switch your circle up. Or you insecure as shit.
Facts.
You feel like you always got to be right. You insecure as hell.
Hey, Trap Speed, y'all. Magic Johnson Project. What's your name? Don, get with me.
Don Ron Cardo.
Let me get your number, man.
Oh, it was definitely a pleasure to have Stephanie and Mr. Don Warren here, man. Like, I hope y'all learned something today, because I definitely have, and these two are my new best friends. Yeah. You know, like we had a ball, man. We ain't want to, you know. I know we've been on close to 2 hours, man. That's why we go ahead and wrapping it up. But yes, feel free to once we go off, rewind this, man, and we definitely drop some he and her and us as a collective.
And any new artists that need your music played, get in his DM.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm sponsoring. We could talk some numbers. Yeah, I can spin your track on the show.
On this show. Thanks for tuning in.
Trap Speed Entertainment. until I come up. And I hold shit down with that gun up. And I'm gonna lay shit down if you run up. I'm on a late night grind until the sun up.
I take that perk with that Henny, I'm tryna turn it up. I'm walking these certain stores, I put my gun up. Ain't never hate on them niggas, wanna see us all up. Them bitches say that they love me, ain't get no damn trust. I got that shit on me, nigga. Yeah, I'm big blunt. I stay away from them niggas that try to get us. Ain't never paid for that pussy, I hit it free. If you ain't talking about no business, then can't talk to me. On the way to that money, my nigga, yeah, I gotta eat. I been really getting to it, ain't been getting no sleep. Whole city waiting, answer, they really waiting on me. And they say they talking lonely, but nigga, I gotta see. Cause the truth is, my nigga, I ain't feeling company. And they say this trap speed, just like the new CMB. If you think this shit is sweet, but nigga, you gotta see. Big pistol on my hip, my nigga, I let it bleed.
I stay down until I come up. And I hold shit down with that gun up. And I'm gonna lay shit down if you run up. I'm on that late night grind until the sun up. I stay down until I come up. And I hold shit down with that gun up. And I'm gonna lay shit down if you run up. I'm on that late night grind until the sun up. Pocket full of dreams, trying to bring it to reality. Pistol on me, nigga, please don't be a casualty. Family of two when we tryna live lavishly. I'm in these streets and I run up shit savagely. Big single, ain't no bitches keeping tabs on me. King Dick got 'em calling me your majesty. Real nigga when I look into my vanity. I stand alone, on 10, I be ravaging. Never did drool off another nigga plate. Cause another man's success ain't a part of my fate. Gotta build by myself just so I can feel great. Used to think it's all love, whole time shit fake. Got ghosts, got dope, set the whips on 8. Now the gas to my drive is the level to your hate. Old school, some rule, and it got the yellow plates. Drop speed on the charm, I've been thugging from the face. Stay down until I come up. And I hold shit down with that gun up. And I'm gonna lay shit down if you run up. I'm on that late night grind until the sun up. I stay down until I come up. And I hold shit down with that gun up. And I'm gonna lay shit down if you run up. I'm on a late night grind until the sun up.
Back then you couldn't hit my phone for less than a zip. Pepper no niggas cross the street with a tone on my hip. Conversation with neighbors who ain't know I was strapped. Most remember I sing, a lot forgot that I rap. When I was back in the trap, we won't try to be noticed. Me and Nicky too deep, riding to Lakeside in the Focus. Praying out the Duchess had to stop at the Shell. Enough work in the trunk, the judge will send us to hell. But I came from an era where the game was sold. Nowadays, so-and-so, God always told. I had nights that with phone, spent nights that was homeless. Nights when my phone jumped, others sold dubs phoneless. Been a hell of a ride, I must say thus far. People starting to show their hand cause they think I'm a star. Some days gave it my all, other days wanted to quit. But I finally back up, I swear this life is the shit.
Stay down until I come up.